Over the last year and a half, I have amassed quite a collection of Mythic Legions. So today, I'm going to go through and rank all of those legions for you, going from some favorites down to some that maybe I've sold or am currently selling that just didn't fit in my collection. So sit back, relax, and let's rank some Mythic Legions. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm Dakota, doing a solo show today. Jordan took over while I was on vacation. I am back from vacation now, giving him a little bit of a rest. I got sick on vacation, so it's that time of year where Dakota's sick and sexy. Voice is a little bit off, but we push on for Mythic Legions. So I didn't actually count how many legions I've had, but as I was counting them, doing the math in my head, I was like, wow, I've spent thousands of dollars on these. I should keep spending more, really. So I've lumped in the Figura Obscura, so we're going to talk Headless Horseman, Monkey King, stuff like that is going to be in this as well. I left out Cosmic Legions because although I was planning on not doing Cosmic Legions, that collection is growing now as well. So maybe that'll be a separate video once we get a few more waves released and everything. But I guess caveat, like all of our lists, some of my favorite figures may be figures you don't care at all about. Some of your absolute favorites may be things I don't care all about. So this is my list. Don't be too upset by it. You can be a little upset by it. I understand. I'd be upset if you put some of mine on the bottom, but let's get into that. So I'm going to share my screen. I also made this list public, so if you want to go through and rank my Mythic Legions, you can do that as well. I'll leave that description down below. So let's go through our categories first. We've got the favorites. These are ones that are never going to leave my collection. They will be at my funeral. The greats, they're probably also sticking around. I don't think they're going anywhere. These are excellent figures. Not everything can be a favorite, but just below that are the greats. The goods, they're good. You know, there's nothing you can really complain about. They just may not jump out at you like the greats and the favorites do. The likes, those are the ones that are in the collection because they're good figures, but you know, as space becomes more and more limited, they are in danger of being put on the chopping block, but for right now, they're safe. Parts, this is a category that essentially I opened the figure just to tear it apart and maybe use that armor for something else, using pieces and parts from it, but the figure's not really itself anymore. So that's why I created a parts category. So that's going to be like, I've got my demons back here. Those are going to be the figure, even though they're not like straight out of the box how they come. I put different parts on them, but they're still like Azar and Zazar. But if it's something that like, it's just like the torso, the body is not there and its armor's been used, that's going to be put in the parts category. I do have some figures that I'm saving for a rainy day. Not sure if I'm keeping or just haven't gotten around to opening them yet. That's in the sealed category, so it's not really fair for me to judge them per se. So I'm putting that in a sealed category because I do actually have quite a few sealed that I just haven't gotten to yet. And then sold are either figures that I have already sold or figures that I'm currently selling. They just didn't really fit in the collection. There's only so much space I have, so some things have to go. So that's what that category is. So then this is going to be all of the legions we're going to be ranking. So this is everything that I either currently have or have had at one point. So quite a few to get through here, but you know, may not be as impressive as some of your collections. I've only been here for a year and a half, but this is still a lot of money in legions. So we're going to get started with the Forest Troll. And I think this is a great. So this is the second version, came with 2 heads. I was able to get this on the in-stock sale. I think everybody should have at least one troll in their collection, and this is the one I have in mind. I've got them displayed with this head. I just like this one a little bit more, but I was actually pretty surprised with the other one, and I could see maybe swapping that out sometimes because both heads are excellent. And then we have Armageddon. I think that's how you say his name. I'm going to go ahead and put him in the like category, which is weird because I really like big, substantial characters, but Legions are coming out with a lot of substantial characters that I have obviously pre-ordered. And he's one that may end up getting pushed out. He's unique enough that he's sticking around for right now, but when I start getting several of those really big characters, he might be in trouble. But he's a good character. I like his colors. Not a huge fan of the Cyclops Eye, but one of them in my collection. I can dig that. Next, we've got the Centaur. This one, I really feel bad about doing this, but I think I've got to put him in my like category. If you listen to some of the other shows, you know that I don't do a lot of horses because, like I said, space is limited, and those horses take up quite a bit of room. I have always really wanted a Centaur figure, and he was one of the first ones I got when I got into Mythic Legions. I think I can't put my finger on it on why he's a like and not a good. Maybe he's a good. We'll see how this shakes out. He might get bumped up to a good because he is a good figure. He just takes up that real estate that I don't know if I get that spark of joy when I see him on my shelf like I wish I did. And maybe that's why he's a like. We'll see. We'll come back because I want these to be kind of even, so he might get bumped up to a good. Baron Volliger the First. I took his parts, used him on Zazar, so I've got Zazar kind of in more of a black armor, so he's parts. Wasn't a huge fan of the figure as himself, but I did like his armor, so got repurposed, and now he's parts. Belphegor. I actually have two of these, so really this would be a great figure, except he's parts. I've used him for some of the Furious Fours that we're going to get to later. I do have the head of Belphegor on one of my Furious Four figures, but I don't know if that counts enough to make Belphegor the figure into the great category. But I do think you should have a Belphegor just for the bare red parts. Either that or the red Krampus. He's a little bit more purple, but I do kind of like that difference in color. And then we've got Aerithir, which I think he looks amazing, but I have him sealed. I have not opened him up yet. I feel like he's one that may become really valuable someday, so I was like, I don't really have room to display him yet, so I want to keep him sealed for now, and then, save him for that rainy day when I have more space and I have an idea of how I want to display him. But I mean, I have him sealed in case I want to sell him, but really, who am I kidding? I'm keeping him. So he's going, or not parts, he's going in the sealed category. Eventually I'll open him up. Joining him in the sealed category is Bryophytus. I got him, I think, in a trade, and then he's just kind of too cheap to really sell. But the longer I have him, the more he grows on me and the more excited I am that I have him. So he's one that I'm also excited to get opened up eventually too. And since he's a Motu tribute figure, he's never going to get remade. So I'll hold on to him for now and then open him up down the road. Like I mentioned before, don't have a lot of room for horses in my collection, so Balius was sold. Demons. I've had him in the background of our shows here for quite a while, so you can probably guess going up to the favorite category. I do actually have Azar displayed as he is, just straight out of the box, so I didn't do any part swapping with him yet. I thought his armor looked cool the way it was, so he has not been changed up yet. Then we've got the Deluxe Legion Builder Barbarian. I made a post in the Cabal saying that this and the Deluxe Gladiator, so I'll put those together. Got these at the same time. These two, I was actually disappointed in how much I liked these figures. I got them because I wanted to practice some painting, and I opened them up, and they were fantastic. So I'm going to put these, they're Legion Builders, so I think I'm going to put them in the good category. I think as far as Legion Builders go, they're great, but being a Legion Builder, there's less paint apps and everything like that, so they do get knocked down for that, but they are excellent figures. Father Christmas, I'm not a huge fan of the soft goods, so I think that brings him down a little bit for me. I really like his staff. I like the head sculpts, but I think we're going to come into a lot of great figures later. I think I'm going to put him in the like category because he is honestly one that I could see myself eventually parting with down the road once I start running out of space. but maybe instead of, having him take up space in my collection room, I'll put him in with the Christmas decorations so that I still get to keep him. Next, we'll get into the Furious Four. So we'll just lump all these guys pretty much together. Bushati and Pelvicus, essentially the same figure, just different heads. The way I have it displayed right now is I have Pelvicus displayed. So I'll rank him as the actual figure, and then I've used parts from, we'll say, the Lord Bushati figure. I think these are super fun. I love how many red characters I have, so I can do a lot of the part swapping. I'm going to put Pelvicus up in Great, and then I'll put Bushati down in Parts because I used him for one of the red demon heads that I have. Pitorion and Uit. I don't have either one of these displayed, so I guess they're both going to go into the Parts category. But I pretty much have a Pitorion displayed with Belphegor head, so I'm going to move him up to a Great figure too, because essentially it's the figure, just a different head. But I would say, getting into Mythic Legions, those are two great figures to have because of the swappability between them. Tons of other characters' heads and parts fit with them. So if you're just getting into pop and swap, those are great figures to get. Gadriel, this is one that was an older figure that I really wanted to get for a while. Was finally able to find a good price after getting scammed on one of them. But I'm pretty happy with how it came out and everything. I love the colors. I'm putting this in the great category as well. Lord Dragool. I'm not a huge fan of the vampires, so I never display it with the vampire head. And I actually switched parts from a Belphegor onto the Lord Dragool, so it's, instead of the blue arms and legs, it has red. And I think that fits in with my Furious Four a little bit better, and really like the way that looks. So I'm going to put this in the like category just because it's kind of, I used it for parts, but I put other parts on it, so it's kind of displayed how it is, but it's not really straight out of the box. And just if I was going with this figure itself, it's not one that I would necessarily need, but the way I've part swapped with it, I'm a pretty big fan of it. Alder the Moose. I have him sealed. I've seen Jordan's out of box. It's a cool figure. I just don't have the room for it yet. Maybe down the road I'm going to have some more room and get it displayed, but this is definitely one that I want to keep. And I think it's going to go well with the bear coming out soon too. So sealed for now though. Gold Knight, another Legion builder. I do think this Legion builder is a little bit more interesting than the previous two that we talked about, the Barbarian and the Gladiator. I think it's going to lead to some cool part swaps. I just haven't done anything yet with it. So I'm going to put him in the like category for now. Well, I'll put him with the goods. He's good. He's a Legion builder. I like him. Even just out of the box, he displays well like that. And I think once I do some part swapping, I'm going to like it even more. I just got her at Legions Con. She's one that I have sealed still. There's a few that I got from Legions Con that I haven't opened up yet. I didn't want to get them all opened all at once, and then I've got nothing to open up in the future. So she's sealed for now, but I think she's going to go well with Alder. I don't remember the name of this horse, but like I said, it's a horse. I just don't have the room for a lot of them. So I bought the All-Stars 5+ all in, and he was one that I had to sell. Deluxe Legion builder, the Dark Templar. Used this for parts. I part swapped a Varg at first and really liked that. But right now I've got him part swapped for my custom. It still has parts from Varg, but then I put a custom white demon head on it. So used him for parts. Just as is, not my favorite of the Legion builders. I know they don't have as much paint details and things like that, but this one was just a little bit too dull for me. I was pretty excited because I thought it was going to be a little bit more black, but it's more of a kind of a dull gray. So good for part swapping. I don't necessarily love it straight out of the box though. I had Gorgo Aetherblade for a little bit, but he is a little bit more expensive, and that was before the new 2-pack came out. So I was able to sell him, and then I bought like 3 more Mythic Legions. So really good figure though. I do wish I had a Gorgo. If they ever do an all-star of him, which maybe they've already done, but And they've already done a 2.0 version, which I would like to get that 2.0 version too, but a little too expensive for me right now. And then we've got Dubon. This was one that in person I didn't love as much as the promo pictures for it. There was the whole, is it blue, is it gray? It wasn't blue enough for me. I was expecting more blue, so and plus I just don't have a ton of room for it. I sold him. Then the unknown one. This is another one that I got because I was hoping to do some part swaps with him, but then space and everything just didn't really think it was necessary. Couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to do with him, so I sent him on his way, sold him as well. And then Hadriana. This is one, I guess technically I have her sealed, but I've opened her up before, so she's resealed. I'm going to put her in the good category because I do like her. I don't have her displayed for some reason right now. Not a lot of space. But I was happy to get her. I'd like to get Faustia as well. I feel like they would look good together. Both obviously the same faction. Eagleus. This is, if you go back to our interview with Jeremy Gerard, I was saying that this was my number one grail getting into Mythic Legions, and Jeremy was able to send me this, and this was one that will be with me until the end of my days. Special place in my heart, special place in the collection, never leaving it. Hagnon. This is another one that I think is going to go up in the favorite category. I have him displayed right now just as is out of the box, but I've done a lot of part swapping with him. I saw in the Cabal, I think it was Toybro possibly did part swaps with him, and Zazar. Super cool, like a frost armor type of look. So I would like to find some more of him, but he's a little bit more on the pricey side, so I've only got one. But he's a great figure. Glows in the dark too, so shut the lights off in the room and still get to see him. Kind of a weird one. We've got the Heads pack. It's weird, but it's a favorite, which is kind of weird because it's really only the Red Demon head and the Black Jaguelian head are my favorites. The other ones I could really do without. I kind of like the bearded head. I don't really have any interest in the Bog Goblin, the female head. And like I said, I don't really like the vampire. But I have 2 Red Demon heads, and I might have 2 of the Black Jaguelian heads, so I'll have to see, because I think I got one to paint as well. But I think that was such a cool idea, and I hope we get a lot more packs like that. Like, we get accessory packs, but I would love to get another heads pack as well. Headless Horseman. This is another kind of toss-up for me because I've said several times now, I don't have a lot of room for the horses, so I don't really care about the Headless Horseman's horse, but I think the Headless Horseman himself is a fantastic figure. I like all of his parts, the Flaming Pumpkin head, even just doing head swaps on him with like skulls or the Black Jaguelian head, the Red Demon head, they all look super cool. I'm going to put this into the great category just because I don't need the horse. It takes up a lot of space. I don't love the cape either, but the figure itself is top notch and not everything can fit in the favorite category. So he's going great, but it's a great. This Illigar, I really like him. He took a dive off my shelf once and broke his axe into a hatchet, but still good figure. I like the colors. I like that he's kind of a skeleton Viking. I think he deserves a great. He's kind of unique, and I like him. It's my list, and he's going in the great. Alithia, she's sealed, kind of for, well, not really the same reasons as Arethyr. I don't know if I like Alithia enough to keep her, so she's staying sealed for now. I have seen a lot of really cool posing with her, but just not in my collection right now, so she may get opened or she may get sold. I'm not sure yet. Black Krampus and Red Krampus, we can do them together. These are both, I used parts. So these I used with Cosmic Legions. I used Walter the Mad with the Black Krampus, and I used the Science Tusk Officer for the red, and then made some Jaguelian Cosmic Legions. So I really like them, but I tore them apart for their parts. And I opened Black Krampus literally for his parts. I didn't even ever display Black Krampus the way he was. I just pulled him right apart. Then we've got Krona. I feel like I want to like him a lot more than I do. It's a great figure. I just don't feel, maybe it's because I don't feel like I can part swap him as much, is that he's just a little bit more stationary in my collection. His colors definitely pop, and Trapjaw is my favorite He-Man character. And maybe I just need to spend some more time with him, but I don't love him as much as I wish I did. But at the same time, he still like pulls me in to be like, you could never sell me, Dakota. I'm too cool. I think I'm going to put him in the like category. Maybe if I spend some more time with him, he'll bump up. Maybe if I run out of room, he might get sold. It's probably going to more depend on his price. If he ever goes crazy, like over $100, over 150, he's definitely sold. But for now, I'm going to see if I can grow my relationship with Krona. Can't remember his name, Little Goat Boy. I think this is a super unique character. Super happy to have him in my collection. I don't think I would ever sell him, but I feel like he almost suffers the same knockdowns as Krona, where I don't know what to do with the part swapping, so he's not quite as fun to me because he's just as is. But I think once I open up like Alder the Moose and get him displayed in kind of that, like all of these here in the Xylona's flock together, I think it's going to be cooler. But for right now, I think I'm going to put him in the like category. He may get bumped up to a good, because it is a great figure. I do really like him. The hooves, though, that's another downside. I do not like hooved feet. They don't stand very well. But he's shorter, more on the dwarf scale, so he doesn't suffer as bad from falling over. I've never had a problem with him doing that. The Stratos Motu tribute figure. I have him displayed with the gray orc head. I kind of like that a little bit more than the helmeted head. I also have the wings displayed with that cosmic Jaguelian that I was talking about. I think this is, I mean, for the price, this is insane that this is a standard Legion. It's got multiple weapons, tons of hands, alternate heads, and wings. I also like the blues and reds combo. I'm going to put this up in the good category, but honestly, with the price value, that you could argue with me that should be higher. And same with like Dubon came with a bunch of stuff too. It's just I didn't really want him as much. Lady Averona. I actually like displaying her more with the horse that came with Headless Horseman. It's got some kind of red accents to it. She's got some of the red maroon type colors together, and I think they look good. I'm going to put her in the, who do we have left? Not a ton, because I think she's a great, like especially as a 2.0 figure, it's a very good 2.0 figure. I like the weapons she comes with. The colors are cool. Let's go with good. She might get moved up, though. We're going to see who's kind of coming in here later, because there are some great figures left. Lord Vetterless, I ended up selling him. I don't know how I got him. I think I got like a trade with a couple different legions. Like I think him and Bryophytus and maybe Alder all came together. And I think maybe I can't remember. I never opened him up or anything. He just wasn't calling to me. Now that I don't have him, I kind of want him a little bit more. So maybe down the road I'll re-get him. But that was early in the days where I think I was able to sell him and buy two others. So it was more about growing the collection versus... I always struggle to keep super valuable figures, but some of them, they'll stay with me. Monkey King, I haven't gotten a chance to really play around with him too much. I love the idea of him. If you know me, you know I love monkeys and apes, gorillas. His armor is super cool. I just haven't gotten a lot of time with him. I think I'm going to put him in the good category. I definitely need to do some more posing and stuff with him. But good figure. Super happy to have him. Honestly, I don't see myself ever selling that figure. But it's not in the same kind of favorite, never sell like some of these other ones. Kind of a half and half with this one. I have two of these Legion Builder Ogres. I was really trying to track them down before I had any other big ones. Now that we've got a lot of other big ones coming, I'm like, ooh, I don't need two of these. So I'm going to sell one of them, but I will keep the other. And then they just came out with the newer version, which kind of makes me like, dang, I wish I didn't get those. I would have got this newer one, but here we are. I like this head better than the additional head that comes with the newer Legion builder. I'm going to put this up in the good category. It's a good big figure, but as far as big figures go, I think he's going to get knocked down as we get some of the newer figures that are in the pre-order waves, because the pre-order big characters are amazing. Gladiators, I didn't really have too much interest in him. I like the blues, but I sold him right away. Maybe I traded him. Either way, I don't have many more. As far as deluxe Legion builders go, the Orc is my favorite. I honestly, this was one of the first ones I got, and I was blown away. And then I think Jeremy was telling me that it was like, oh yeah, we don't do as much paint apps on the Legion builders. I was like, this figure's incredible. It doesn't need any more paint apps. So this is a great figure, as the best Legion builder that I have. And I guess maybe with some like the Templars and things like that, maybe you would argue with me that those are better. But as far as what I have, the Orc is the best. Then we've got the video game Orc builder pack. This one I think is a great figure. It was a little bit more on the pricey side, but it came with a bunch of stuff. I got it with the extra head, which it's kind of that frog helmet thing, which I don't even really like. So might try to trade that for something else. But this one's really cool. I really like the way I have mine displayed with his head on a chain. Great figure. Alithia's horse, just like her. I have it sealed. The more I see of people posing or like taking pictures of him, I kind of like it, but I don't have room for horses, and I've got other horses coming, or at least the skeletal horse, so I probably won't be keeping him, but I've got him now just in case. Purplor, I don't have displayed. I did buy an extra Jaguar purple head to do like a custom paint. Do I love Purplor? Not necessarily. I got him mostly because I want to do a purple demon, so I'm going to put him in the parts because that's why I bought him, was for his parts. So hopefully I can get a better paint match, because right now my paint match is not matching, but I'll do a custom demon head for that. Romulus, I like the colors here. I like the one armored arm, one bare arm. I also like kind of the gladiator helmet. I think it's a great figure. I think he doesn't come with a ton of accessories, but he really doesn't need a ton of accessories. I feel like he's able to like stand out on his own. Scaphoid. This was the very first Legion I ever got. Will I ever sell him? No, I will not ever sell the first Legion I ever bought. Is he a favorite though? I really don't think so. I think this is probably very biased because he was my first. I'm going to put him in the greats. It's very unique. It's going to stand out on your shelf for sure. So maybe it's not completely unwarranted great ranking, but I could understand if you have him lower on your list. I could also understand if you have him higher. The Equidron, I got him because I'm just a slut for having big figures. But the big figures coming, I think, are cooler than the Equidron. I think I'm gonna sell him, or I don't know. Maybe I'll keep him on ice for a while, and then sell him if he ever gets hot. But yeah, he's got the hooves that I've tried displaying him back here, but he always falls over. So that's kind of another knock to send him out the door. But I'm going to put him in the selling/sold category because I really don't see myself keeping him, especially because he doesn't stand. That's nah. We don't have the space for that kind of attitude, Mr. Equidron. Sir Gerard, this is a favorite. I have him I think I just have him displayed as is. I have the skeleton head on him though. But I don't know, in my mind, there's really no need to even think about what kind of parts to swap with him, because it's so good as is. I love the red and the black combo. That's pretty much a perfect figure right there. Sir Owain, this was kind of one of the more first figures I got. It was like in the earlier collecting days. I really wasn't a huge fan at first, but then I took the cape from Scaphoid? Tibius. I took Tibius's black cape and put it on Sir Owain, catapulted him up into the favorites. I think Sir Owain with the black cape is excellent. I don't know why it helps him so much, but it just takes him to a whole nother level. The Skeleton Legion builder, this is one that I actually don't have opened yet. I've seen Jordan's. Jordan's favorite figure is this Skeleton Legion builder. I would not put him in my favorite category. He is a pretty good Legion builder, though, and he is one that I could see you having a whole army of, and it would be really good. But for me, mine is still sealed. This other previous Legion builder for Skeleton is also sealed. So I think I like this one a little bit more than this one, but I haven't opened him up yet. I think he's going to maybe part swap a little bit better. And I also like the color of the bones on this one more too. So we'll see. This one I'm probably going to open before I open this one because I've seen him before. Swig, I really don't like the Goblins too much. Sorry if you do, but I was excited for him because of his accessories and everything, but it just didn't really fit in the collection space. He had to go. We'll do the other Goblin while we're at it. Like I said, don't love the Goblins, but I did like Thump a little bit more. I thought he was just kind of like a dumb-looking goblin that was just like kind of oblivious to everything. Like, he comes with a hammer and sword and all that, so he's probably pretty fierce on the battlefield, but I just thought he was kind of... I had him more in the mindset of like a plunderling, or like how I would think of a plunderling is just kind of like mischievous, but silly and unaware of really being like evil nasty. Then we've got the Legion Builder Templar. This one I sold because I think he was going a little bit higher than regular figures, so I was able to sell him and get something else. Plus, with the Templars that we have coming down the road from the Necronominous wave, those I'm a little bit more excited for. Even though I don't love soft goods, the articulation on those is going to be way better. So I let him go, and then I'll build my Templars with the newer stuff. I talked about using the cape for Tibius on Sir Owain. I still have him displayed, but without the cape, it kind of brings him down a few notches, even with the cape. I didn't love him. I like the color of his armor, so I'm kind of saving him for like maybe a part swap or something like that. Never really liked the baseball red stripes on his skull, but it does make him unique. I like that he's got two swords, kind of make him like a skeleton blade master, but I'm going to put him in the like category because he's kind of always on my fence of like, do I have room to keep him? And so far it's been a yes. So next up, get into the Minotaurs. We've got, or the Minotaur, we've already done Pitorion. So this is Torion, and I would say he is a favorite. I've got him, I don't have him displayed straight out of the box. This blue armor I swapped out for Zazar's armor, which is purple. So I think that it makes him look a little bit more evil. The black and purple combo just kind of, I thought that was kind of cooler. But even straight out of the box with the blue armors, I like that as well. Then we've got the Valiant Knight. This is going to be controversial. I'm going to base this off of the going price, and I say it's overhyped. It's a great figure. Maybe one of the best. But I have two. I had to sell one of them because it was going for, I think I sold it for $110. Don't be buying that. It's coming out next month. It's not worth $110. Almost none of these, to me, I would not pay $110 for a single figure unless I was really just flush with cash and had a hole burning in my pocket. The articulation on it, I cannot wait for the new articulation like this to come out on other figures. Like I said, this is still a great figure. Tons of hands, the weapons, the heads. I love everything about it, but it's overhyped. Or maybe not overhyped, it's overpriced on eBay. Once it comes into the store Horseman, though, I think it's in February, get yourself one at least, because just being able to pose it and feel what Mythic Legions are going to be in the future. Spoiler alert, I think I want to do another video talking about how this is like the worst time for Mythic Legions, or like these are the worst Mythic Legions that have ever been made, because they keep upping their game so hard that like in 2 years, when we have all the things that are on pre-order right now, they're going to be 10 times better than the things that we've already gotten. And the things we've already gotten are amazing. And they just keep making everything better. For $30 or whatever he's going to cost, 37, buy 5. For $100, just wait. I'm going to put him in the like category, because even though I think he's one of the best figures they've done, there's going to be other ones that come out with that same articulation, which is why I like him so much. Like once we get the Necronominous wave with those Templars, that's going to like crush him, because they're just going to be a little bit more detailed and everything. But don't get me wrong, it's a great figure. Just don't go paying for it yet. Just wait. Vampire Phalanx. I used him for parts. I used some of the parts. Did I use them? Yeah. I used some of the parts for him on one of my red demons. So he's going in the parts category. Pretty cool figure. I don't love the demons, so I was never going to display him with or don't love the vampires, so I wasn't going to display him with the vampire head. But I did want a black armored figure, so I could do some part swaps with. Varg. I think I've sold one of them. I have one of them opened, and I think I have at least one of them sealed. So this is the one I've actually bought the most of. And this is a favorite figure. He comes with a bunch of stuff. Wings. He's shorter, but then you mix him with the Deluxe or the Dark Templar, and then you have a larger sized Varg. Part swap him. He is fabulous. I like the bare white parts. I've part swapped him. So do I have 4 of these guys? I don't even know how many of these I have. But I used parts from him for my custom white demon. Great figure. I'm pretty sure it's still available everywhere. You should have one of these for sure. He's great. Vitus. When I got him, he came with a custom cape, which was kind of cool. Kind of elevated him a little bit. I had him as like my spear master. I had 2 spears across his back, 2 spears in his hand. I like the gladiator look, but didn't really have the room, so he's down here in the selling/sold category. Then we get into the 2 Mythic Legions from Legions Con this year. So I haven't really done a lot with Vorgus Vermilius yet. I haven't even put his whole cape on him yet. But it's a pretty good figure. I like him a lot. Honestly, I was debating whether to pack him back up and then sell the Legions Con version, because I don't really see myself ever displaying the like translucent vampire head, but I may try to trade that translucent vampire head for another red Jaguelian head, since that was a con exclusive. But the armor, sculpting, colors, the multiple heads, excellent figure. I think, because I could see myself eventually trading him or something, so I'm going to put him in the good category for me. But I really do like that figure. Walter the Mad. I think it's a super cool tribute. I love all the stuff that he comes with. It's an insane amount of accessories. The alternate heads are super cool. I really like I usually do not like soft goods, and I rarely use them. But I really like this soft goods. I like the way it's kind of supposed to go over one, like you put one arm through it. Cool idea. I'm going to put that up in the grate. I don't think I will ever sell that one. Very cool. I don't know if I'll get an extra one when he comes back into the stock. I'll definitely get an extra of the Cosmic Legion, I think. But I think he's cool just as is. Xylerian Guard. This is one that I was expecting I was going to sell when I got my All-Stars 5+. But once I got him out of the package, that shield, the colors, this is a cool figure. You don't really need to do a lot of part swapping, or at least in my opinion, I didn't really want to do any part swapping, because out of the box, it's a great figure. I did take the shield back off, so it's just the deer faction logo as his shield, so it's kind of more of a weapon than a shield. So good figure. or actually, I'm going to say great figure. And then the last one we have is Zazar, and that is, I think, my #1 all-time favorite figure. He's kind of what started my whole collection of demons. He's why I have custom, the black custom, the white custom, multiple red. The reason I got into Mythic Legions was when I saw Azahazar and a few others from that wave, but Azahazar was one of them that I was like, oh, I got to get that pre-order. And then I had to backtrack and get some others. So let's see if we can. I feel like the greats need to lose one. It's too thick of a category. I think I'm going to bring him down to the good category. And then we get everybody, I mean, other than the sold is a double row, but they've already been sold or are being sold. So, all right, so that is the ranking for all about 70, I think, figures that I've had or currently have. Please don't do the math on that. I don't want to know how much I've spent on Mythic Legions. And really, that's not it, because I've got a lot on pre-order as well. So let me know what you thought of that list. I mentioned we talked to Jeremy Gerard. If you want to watch that interview, it's going to be up here. You can go check it out. It's going to be a beginner's guide to Mythic Legions. I know you already know all there is to know about Mythic Legions, but it's fun to listen to Jeremy talk, isn't it? And then if you want to know some of our pros and cons of Mythic Legions, I know there are some cons. You can check that out over here. Hope you enjoy those. And until next time, stay strong.